Hello, duelists. Blazingly here with Takahashi's Castle Casual Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is a deck profile for one of my favorite decks throughout my entire history with Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, it's a Blue Eyes deck. I've had a lot of those throughout the years. I got some tin set up here too for just the aesthetic. So cool, so cool. Um, Anyway, I do have some stories to talk about with this deck. Of course, I do. But we'll get through the deck profile first, and then I'll pull out some cards that I have stories to remind me about the stories I have, and then I'll talk about the stories afterwards. So of course, we're gonna start off with three Blue Eyes White Dragons. Quite the iconic card throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Of course, that's in here to fuse for Ultimate Dragon, and if we have to, we can use Ultimate to get Dragon Master Knight, but I prefer to not do that. We are going to pull this Blue Eyes out for a story later. Sorry about the glare. It's about noon here, despite what the stove says. Next, we have a Black Luster Soldier, used for getting to Dragon Master Knight. Not much to say about Black Luster Soldier, 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, same stat line as a Blue Eyes. But it's a ritual monster, so it's you have to jump through some hoops to summon it. Next, we have the main beat stick of the deck. We have Luster Dragon. Not searchable by Witch of the Black Forest because of its 1,600 defense, but it's a dragon. That's the whole reason I'm running it, because it's a dragon. Next, we have a one of Manju of the 10,000 Hands and two copies of King of the Swamp. Manju to search a ritual spell or monster, a la Black Luster Soldier. Oftentimes, you want to search the monster over the ritual spell if you have the choice. The monster is more useful in the hand than the ritual spell is, because you can draw your polymerization, hopefully, to fuse for a Dragon Master, which is always fun to do. And we have two King of the Swamps in here. This is actually one of the upgrades compared to the original deck. I'm kind of rebuilding my 2008 Dragon deck, which I've nicknamed Legacy, for maybe a reason we can get into later. I'm rebuilding it with hindsight and a little more experience, as well as access to some slightly better cards. King of the Swamp, it's a fusion substitute for any named fusion material monster, and you can discard it from your hand to search a polymerization, so it's really good. It's even good in the graveyard with one of our fusion spells, but we'll get into that later. Next, we have another upgrade compared to the original deck. We have Masked Dragon. The original deck ran Troop Dragon, which can only search itself, but Masked Dragon can get other dragons from itself. I only have one card we can actually search with it, though. That's Twin-Headed Behemoth, because I don't have two copies of the Dragon Dwelling in the Cave, which the original deck had. Losing my collection, losing a decent portion of my collection a few years ago really hurts. But Twin-Headed Behemoth, when it is destroyed from the field and sent to the graveyard, during the end phase it can special summon itself back to the field with 1,000 attack and defense, but it can only do that once per duel. But helps maintain a board presence. It's mainly a defensive card. Next we have a few more dragons here, a couple more, with Mirage Dragon and Spear Dragon. Mirage Dragon to stop the pesky traps like Sakuretsu Armor that all the casual players used back then. And Spear Dragon, 1,900 attack, pierces defense. It's pretty good. Next we have two copies of Blizzard Dragon, which I did not have back then. I didn't even know Blizzard Dragon existed. But if I did and I had a playset back then, I definitely would have had some Blizzard Dragons in the deck. 1,800 attack, can freeze an opponent's monster for a turn, can't change battle mode or attack. So pretty decent. Can slow the game down when you need it to, just like Spirit Reaper Can't be destroyed by battle. Can hand rip a card if it ever deals damage. It doesn't have to attack directly. Oh, yeah, it does. Successfully attacks directly. Okay. I never noticed that. And our last two monsters are Sangin and Witch of the Black Forest. I think the original deck had Sangin. I don't remember. But the original deck didn't have Witch of the Black Forest. As I've gotten older, I used to really follow the ban list, the banned and restricted list. I used to follow it adamantly, but now as I've gotten older, it's like, well, whatever. I'll just play whatever I want, you know. Yeah, it's not banned anymore now though. But I'm thinking about the old days. Next, we are getting into the spells. We're going to start off with Blackluster Ritual. Because if I'm going to run a ritual monster for a fusion, I at least want to have the option of being able to summon it as well. That's all you need to know. Next, we are getting into our fusion package here. We have 1 polymerization, 2 copies of Dragon's Mirror, and Future Fusion. This is the pre-errata Future Fusion, because that's what we had back in 2008. Future Fusion is pretty good. It lets you send the fusion materials from your deck to the graveyard to fusion summon that monster in a couple turns. We can only get 5-headed dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate with that, assuming we have the proper materials in the deck. I don't think Fusion Fusion allows you to use fusion substitutes from your deck, so we can't get Dragon Master Knight. But Dragon's Mirror is one of the most important cards in the deck, because this lets you fuse. This lets you fuse from your hand and your graveyard. So, I had 2 copies of this back in the day. Those were from Cybernetic Revolution. I didn't even know I had them until I started looking through my cards back then. But this card made it to where I wasn't afraid if I got a Blue Eyes on the field and attacked with it, and it got destroyed by a Sakuretsu or a Trap Hole, except Bottomless. Bottomless was a pain. Or Smash and Ground, Fissure, Lightning Vortex, whatever my friends were playing then. And finally, we have the classic Polymerization. I love this card so much. I got a sticker on one of my water bottles from Redbubble because I like Polymerization so much. But yeah, I need to pull Dragon's Mirror out because I have a story for that too. And next, we have one of Lightning Vortex and Swords of Revealing Light. Swords of Revealing Light, classic stall card, iconic anime card. Enough said, was also limited back then. And Lightning Vortex, we didn't have any spell cards that were board sweepers back then. Dark Hole and Raigeki were banned, so I wanted to use Lightning Vortex because it seemed like a good card, and it pulled me out of tough situations a lot. Next, we have our Spell and Trap Removal Suite in 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm, and Giant Trunade. Mystical Space Typhoon, good for hitting, random spells and traps. Oh, nice Swords of Revealing Light. It's gone. Oh, you're activating Call of the Haunted? That's gone. Or I need to try to clear the way so I can get in with my big dudes here. Heavy Storm, one of my favorite spell and trap removal cards of all time. Heavy Storm and Trunade are good for when you're trying to end the game that turn. Oftentimes I'd have both Trunade and Heavy Storm in my hands because the game went on long, and I didn't really need to play them because I couldn't really attack. My friends would have defensive monsters or a Spirit Reaper out I couldn't deal with. So in those cases, I'd when I was trying to push for game later, I would often Trunade first in case one of my friends would chain a Threatening Roar or a Wabaku, so that way next turn I could sweep everything away with Storm. But yeah, these are good. I love these cards. Getting into the trap cards, those have probably changed the most. I used to build my decks with a formula of 22 monsters, 12 spells, and 6 traps, and I have more than 6 traps. Because I've been changing how I build my decks. Yeah. Here's a card I undervalued back then. Good Goblin Housekeeping. Lets you draw a card from your deck, and then you have to cycle a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. but it scales with the more you have in your graveyard. So the first one you'll draw one card, and then that hits the graveyard. The next one you'll draw two, and that hits the graveyard. And the next one you'll draw three, and you'll cycle a card to the bottom of your deck. So you can really accelerate through your deck with these if you get them. Oftentimes I'll activate a good goblin, and then I'll draw my second copy immediately. Coming up next, we have 2 copies of Dust Tornado. I did not use this card enough back then either. I've been trying to include two to 3 copies in my decks whenever I build them. Next, we have a 1 of Sakuretsu Armor, because I think that's all I ran back then. And I have some other cards in here to kind of make up for the lack of monster removal in my traps. Then we have Call the Haunted, classic recovery trap. Get a monster from your graveyard back to the field in attack mode. Interrupt the opponent's battle phase, or use it during yours to get those last points of damage through to close the game out. Then we have the old school heavy hitters of classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Torrential Tribute and Mirror Force, the king of the trap cards. I don't care, it's still the king to me, dang it. Torrential Tribute, when a monster summoned, destroy all monsters. Mirror Force, when your opponent attacks, you flip it and they lose all their attack position monsters. Really, really good cards, and iconic too. So, let's see. I'm going to start story time now, so I might ramble a lot here. Yeah, I might ramble a lot here. So, the whole idea for this deck started in 2007. In summer of 2007, I was 13 years old, and I was working for my dad's home improvement company. And I had a magazine, a Beckett collector, an unofficial Beckett collector. I should have pulled it out so I could show it off, but I still have that magazine. I don't actually know where it's at. It might be in my closet. But you could call a number to call a card shop out in Lenexa, Kansas, by the name of Collector's Cachet. And they had an ad in that magazine for purchasing a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon for $9.99, and then you could get the Egyptian God cards, all 3 of them together, for $79.99. And I wanted those bad back in the day. So I was working for my dad's home improvement company, and he was paying me. He was giving me cash. I think he was putting some of it in my bank account, in my savings account at the time that he opened for me. And I saved up enough before I went to summer camp for my dad and my stepmom to order the cards for me. And when I got home, they were all laid out on my bed in a row in their top loaders. And I was so happy. I was so happy to finally have Blue Eyes Ultimate. I'll admit, I didn't even care about having the Egyptian gods, but I was so excited to have Blue Eyes Ultimate that I grabbed it, and I ran outside, took my bike out of the shed, and I rode around the neighborhood holding this card up and forward on my handlebars, because I was so happy to finally have a Blue Eyes Ultimate, because I'd wanted it ever since I saw the rooftop duel in Duelist Kingdom between Yugi and Kaiba, where they used the original duel discs. And that Christmas in 2007, I got Dragon Master Knight in Ultimate Edition 2, alongside a set of Exodia. It was the secret rare set. I think the set was a RBP or something for the Exodia pieces. I don't have those anymore, which sucks, because those have really skyrocketed in price. But I started prototyping the deck out, trying to make a Kaiba theme deck, because the mindset back then was, all right, I have the card, now how can I summon it? So I started thinking about it, and I started prototyping out a Kaiba theme deck and everything. After I found Dragon's Mirror, I threw a copy of Return from the Different Dimension in. That didn't actually work out. Oftentimes I had to use Return from the Different Dimension to stay in the game, but your monsters don't stay after you activate it. So I would wind up losing the duel by not being able to then attack over the monster that was giving me trouble. But I had a Paladin and White Dragon Ritual to try to search the Blue Eyes. Yeah, using a ritual monster to search another monster. That's wishful thinking even back then, but I still like the Paladin of White Dragon. I still think it's a cool card. Still want to play it. Again, there's Return. These were cards from the prototype of the deck back in the day, and at one point I was running Paladin alongside Blackluster Soldier, and I didn't have a way to search the ritual cards back then because I didn't know I had Senju of the Thousand Hands or Sonic Bird, and I remember even after I found them, I was thinking, well, I don't really want to run these just to search Blackluster Soldier. Yeah, I didn't know how good searching was back then. But Dragon's Mirror, definitely the most important card in the deck. But I had a certain way of playing the deck, so I had a certain way of playing it. I would not use my Dragon's Mirror as soon as I could. I would hold on to it. I would hold on to it. I would instead be trying to fight using whatever I have in my hand at first. So if I could fuse for a Dragon's Mirror, but I didn't need to get a huge monster out, I'd summon my Luster Dragon and attack with it. I'd hang on to these. I'd hang on to my fusion cards until A, I needed to use them to stay in the game, or B, I could close the game out that turn. Yeah, there was no rush activating these as much as I wanted to. I chose not to rush my fusion cards because I didn't want to summon, one of my awesome cards and it get Sakuretsu'd, which would happen a lot. Man. So this deck, so I started it prototyping in summer 2007. And then it was probably around March or April of 2008. I finally had it. I rebuilt the deck after so much testing. I'd build the deck, I'd test it against mine, and if it lost, I'd take it apart, and I'd start over. I'd start over with the essential cards, which, of course, I'd have my 3 Blue Eyes, I'd have my Fusion Package, I'd have the Ritual Spell, I'd have a couple copies of Kaiser Seahorse that I had in the original deck, so I could summon my Blue Eyes easier. That's where I started, was with the essential cards. Because I really had to figure out what I was doing, so I could summon these, because, I had them, I wanted to use them. And I finally figured it out around March or April of 2008. And this deck went undefeated against my friends until November 2008. Man. Oh, man, it was so cool. I had never done that before. But it was cool to see my hard work and determination pay off. So I haven't talked about Five-Headed Dragon much, but around June 2008, after sneaking out of the house and watching my brothers, my stepbrothers and my brother and one of his friends all get completely drunk off of a cooler full of beer. I didn't drink. I didn't want to drink back then. I was also only, 14. So, yeah, not a good thing. And cops in Maryland are really... Oh, man, they are really harsh. But we were laying in the driveway of my dad's house, and I had my deck in my hand. I had my, 2008 Dragon deck down there, and I was looking through it. And I was thinking, how can I make this better? And, I had a fake copy of Five-Headed Dragon. So, I looked it up, and it was a real card. I thought, okay, what's his fusion materials? Any 5 dragons. Okay. I'll take the fake copy, I'll put that in my fusion deck, and I'll play a game and see if I can summon it. And sure enough, I Dragon's Mirrored for the Five-Headed Dragon. I ended the game that turn, and then I knew I had to get this card. Which I got really lucky that my stepmom and my dad got this card for me back then. This is not the original. This is not the original, of course, not the card I had back then. I think I lost that or traded it or something, but this card was awesome to have alongside these, and it is a real privilege to be able to play these together. Back then and even now, I think. But this Blue Eyes, here, let me see if I can find the others. There's one. Only got the one hand. There we go. I got them. So, I bought these on eBay. I wanted to get the damaged ones, not only because they were cheap, but to remind me that I lost a lot of my collection in 2023. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but yeah, I just wanted to get the damaged ones to remind me, hey, you screwed up. And so this one arrived, and then these two arrived. I think I got these earlier this year, probably around February or March. And these arrived together. They arrived in a parcel package, one of the yellow bubble wrap lined ones. And I thought, oh, cool, I got my cards here today. And I opened it up, and I only saw this one inside, so I pulled it out, and I threw the parcel in the trash. And the next day, when I was at work, I checked my eBay, and it said these had arrived together, and I thought, well, I didn't find one of them in there. Maybe I should check it again when I got home, when I get home. And surely enough, I got home, pulled the parcel out of the trash, and this Blue Eyes was in there. So I took it out and sleeved it up. So I almost lost another card by accident. So yeah. Anyway, sorry about the long ramble and the long video. Hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm Blazingly. This is Takahashi's Castle, Casual Yu-Gi-Oh! And remember, fair play, fun duel.